Welcome back, everyone, to this next installment of our Crucial Life Group series. And by now, I think you're kind of getting a handle on how life groups can be such an impactful part of discipleship at your church, and how it can affect our community, how it can affect our relationships, and ultimately people's journey in faith and the transformation they experience from Jesus. In this video, what I want to talk about is how your life group exists outside of your life group. What I mean is, we often think about our life group as a block of time in the week. So maybe we meet on Tuesdays from 6:30 to 8 o'clock, and that is the time when we all gather together. It is good for us to have a time where everybody in the group is at the same place at the same time. But I will tell you that healthy life groups are healthy in large part because they exist outside of that time block. They exist because people spend time together, they visit each other, they have lunch together or coffee together, they text each other, they interact on a Sunday morning, or they travel to weekend activities together. They like to do life together. This is the term I like to use. That's why we call them life groups, is because it's people who do life together. That life exists beyond a block of time. So as a leader, you can help cultivate this. This is something that you can help create. The first and best thing that you can do is participate in life with your life group outside of your life group. And there's a lot of simple things you can do. Just be mindful of who your people are and what they're going through. And as you do that, you'll find opportunities to participate in their lives. If they've got a job interview, send them a text message or give them a phone call. Ask them how it went, or say a prayer and say, hey, I prayed for you today. If they are going to go out of town on a trip, then ask them about it. If they have expressed some kind of interest in your life group, then maybe you can recommend that you do something together. Hey, I like that, or hey, I wanted to try that. We should do that together. Let's put it on the calendar to do that. And it's okay, even in your life group, to spend 10 or 15 minutes planning something to happen outside of your life group. In fact, that's probably the best place to plan it. Since everybody happens to be there, then you can take some time and sit together and make a plan of doing something together outside of life group. Now, should you do this in place of life group? Maybe, sometimes that's okay. I wouldn't recommend doing that all the time, but occasionally if there's a new movie coming out and that you all wanted to see, and maybe it's one of these Christian movies, or it's a movie that maybe aligned with something you were talking about, that could be something that would be good. Or maybe there's a new restaurant, maybe you decide to have a life group at the restaurant together. There's some different strategies you can play, but I would say try to keep the life group consistency as normal as possible, so that you're meeting in the same place, covering the same kinds of things, and the expectation remains the same. The more that you vary away from it and it's different, it's unpredictable, then the less inclined people are to come back and to participate. So look for opportunities for your life to exist outside, and that starts with you as the leader. The second thing you can do is try to encourage it between each other. If you're having a conversation, it's okay to be direct and say, hey, Brian, we've got this new guy that's coming to the group, and he seems a bit disconnected. What do you think about taking him out to lunch one day this week, or reaching out and giving him a phone call to check in on him? And maybe some people in your group, they don't know where to start, but if you just give them an idea or a prompt, or even just a request, hey, can you help me by reaching out to this individual? Then it creates kind of this cross connection. And I will say this kind of as a sidebar. If you're just starting out and you're building a group, or maybe your group's really small and you're trying to build it, what I've done in groups is I spend a lot of one-on-one time with individuals before I even start the group. And then I start trying to do things in small groups if I can. So I will, if I have an event at the church, I'll invite a couple of people so that they can interface next to each other. Or maybe I'll say, hey, I'm gonna have a lunch, you should come out and join us. I'm getting a lunch with so-and-so, you should come out and have lunch with us. And so we'll have 3 people, and that way there's a natural and organic way for them to connect to each other before they get into a group for the first time. The more that your people can be friends with each other, the more that the life group is gonna thrive. And you are really, I know that sounds like it's outside of the job description. You feel like you signed up to be a teacher of the word, And that's a spiritual thing to do. But so much of our spiritual responsibility is to create community, to cultivate love, to emphasize belonging. We are the body of Christ, folks, and the body of Christ doesn't exist in an hour and 20-minute block once a week. They exist ongoing. And your job as a life group leader is to help cultivate the natural connection. And I think what you'll find is if you, even just a couple weeks in, if you start doing this, people are going to show up to group and they're going to be more authentic, more vulnerable, more eager. They're going to laugh more quickly. They're going to smile. They're going to offer to contribute more and help more. They're going to bring stuff. You're going to see the impact because they feel like they're cared about beyond just whether or not they show up. What you don't want is people to feel like they are only important to pad your numbers as a life group leader. And sometimes, unfortunately, people can feel that way. We don't want the group to be about us and validating us as a leader. We want it to be about the people we're serving. And the way that we do that is we make it about them outside of our life group on our meeting time. Try this out. I think you're going to find it to be really impactful. Tune in for the next video coming up next.